Alright, this is a video on how to set up and prime CardioHelp Portable ECMO by McKay. This is a video that is for our institution only for education and training of our staff. It is not McKay's recommended policy or procedures, and it is not a procedure that we recommend for other institutions to follow. This is for our institution only. This picture here and the next picture coming up is from McKay's website. Anyone can go check them out. You can pause it here if you'd like, just to look at the diagram of the parts, but we're about to go through our system in a moment. And here it is. Here's the front of CardioHelp. Here's the side with the blue guard, and beneath that the venous probe. It's attached. And in the back here you can see the black circle. That's where the HLS set will attach, and to about 1 o'clock there's an integrated sensor connector, which is just resting on its port. And here you can see the 2 red buttons on each side of the guard that are used to unlock the guard, which our perfusionist is about to do. You have to push both buttons in order to raise the guard. And once that's done, he'll open the disposable package and remove the table set and tray. As you can see, it was already open. This is a set that we have been using for training purposes, so there's a couple things that will look used. You'll connect the HLS set. It seats in and rotates counterclockwise. You'll hear an audible click. You'll feel it click. And then we use these tubing extensions, and we replace the caps with the tubing extensions. This is something that's unique to us. McKay doesn't recommend that, but we do it because it allows us to access blood draws from the system. You can see the yellow cap right there is not normally on there. That is something that was just left on from prior trainings. Normally it looks like that. No cap. And you leave it that way. Then you disconnect the integrated sensor and connect it to the HLS set. And then you close the guard, which you only have to push 1 button to close the guard. And you'll attach the table tray directly to the top handle there. It's designed to do that. It'll sit right on there. And then another unique aspect to our procedure or our steps are that we connect the water lines now. And it doesn't matter which side you connect them to as long as you hear the click and they're seated on there tight. Those are just quick connectors, pretty simple. And then you'll hit the power button. You'll go back to the front and hit the power button to the water heater cooler, which will turn the machine on. It'll go through its setup process here. You can see the second button on the bottom from the left there is the prime button. Once this is set up, we'll hit prime. It's recommended that it primes for 2 minutes, but we will not wait 2 minutes, nor will we wait 2 minutes in practice. We'll just let it go for about 10 seconds, and then we'll hit standby and we'll hit run. And the reason we do that is we don't really want to wait 2 minutes to let this set up while there is a patient who needs portable ECMO. Nor do we want to forget we don't want to forget to let the water heater run its course either. The heater cooler, I'm sorry. Alright, so he just hit standby, then he hit run, and that's all set. Then we connect the flow probe to the blue line in between the 2 white pieces of tape, which will be on your set. Just put it in there and snap it closed, and make sure the arrow is in the direction toward the CardioHelp console, so the flow is going toward the console. You'll connect your green gas line, your oxygen line, and then you'll remove the priming bag from the disposables tray, and then you'll hang that onto the IV pole that's right there with the system, and you'll hang it open like this so that spread apart so that it can be filled, and you'll close the stopcocks up top, and then you'll clamp off the blue line, which will be used later to fill the circuit. This here is your fluids connected to the priming line. You got to squeeze in 1.5 liters. Literally, you have to squeeze it in and then clamp off the priming line. Then you'll disconnect the quick connect adapters to the table set lines and the priming lines, and you'll connect the blue to the blue and the red to the red, so this way the priming lines are now connected to the table tray lines. You'll go back around to the front of the console and turn it on. It's the bottom right hand button there, universal power button, same power button on every machine in the world. Then you'll hit the S button there and watch his left hand as he taps the global override right there. Turns red, then he'll zero out his pressures, hit 0, hit the green check, hit the green check. You'll see him hit the pressure button there, then hit 0, green check, and your pressures will be zeroed out. Now he will unclamp the blue line, and flow will start going from the prime line into the CardioHelp console. At this point, you'll increase your RPMs to 3,000. You'll let it run there for 2 minutes, and then you'll go to 4,000 for a minute. And this is done to flush the air out of the system. If you still hear air in the system, you'll repeat those steps. Go to 3,000 for 2 minutes, and then back up to 4,000 for a minute. But it shouldn't have to be repeated. And then once that's done, and you don't detect air, you'll turn your RPMs back down to 0, essentially stopping flow. You'll go back to the rear of the machine, and you'll use a syringe to de-air the extension tubes that we placed on the caps. If it was Mackay, they would be calling this step where you burp the caps, but since we removed the caps and put extension tubings, you have to use a syringe, and then you clamp off the extension tubings, and that's how we prevent air from entering the system. Then you'll take that yellow cap that magically disappeared earlier, and you'll place it on the de-airing port. And you'll take metal clamps, and you'll clamp on either side of the flow probe so you can zero for the flow. And to do that, there needs to be 0 flow, so you clamp it. You hit the flow button, which is the top left-hand V button. You hit 0, and you hit the green check, and you hit the green check again to confirm it. Then you hit the yellow button down at the bottom right. That's the bubble sensor. You hit the bubble sensor, hit reset, hit the green check, and then you'll turn off global override by just tapping the red button. Then you'll unclamp your sensor, your flow sensor, and clamp the red and the blue lines that are attached to the HLS set. You'll go to the side and unhook the venous probe and connect it to the HLS set, and then you're ready to clamp off your lines. Those are the priming lines that he's clamping, and the table tray line he just clamped, priming line, and then table tray. And you'll disconnect using the quick connectors there, and you'll essentially complete your circuit here by connecting the red and blue priming lines to each other and the red and blue table set lines to each other, and that will give you a complete circuit that can then be handed off to the sterile field. There you go. There's your circuit. And that's ready to be passed to the sterile field. Just take the tray off, remove the lid, and the folks at the sterile field will know what to do from there. Your next step will be to turn up your sweep. This is sweep here. You want it anywhere from 8 to 10, and you'll turn your FiO2 up, which was the knob to the right, to 100%. Then you'll increase your flow, your RPMs, to about 2,500. And that's to prevent any kind of backflow. And then you unclamp. And you unclamp once the folks at the sterile field are connected and they say go ahead and start flowing. You may have some alarms going off, so our perfusionist is demonstrating here how to troubleshoot those alarms. The alarms will be in yellow, so you just hit the yellow buttons and follow the instructions essentially to zero them out. And then the other piece that our perfusionist is demonstrating here is how to recalibrate or calibrate the lab values that CardioHelp will show you with lab values that you draw from the patient from the serum. And you can do that by saving those values first, and then you go in and tap the values you want to change and use the plus and minus arrows to get the values you want. Then hit the green check to verify or confirm, and green check to get out of there, and that's done. You're ready to go. So this here's a link to a YouTube video that's an animated film on how to prime and set up by Mackay that's more official. This video that you just watched is for our institution. from our institution and for the training and education of our employees only. So it is not recommended by McKay or nor for other institutions. All right, thanks.